Thanks for dialing into the webinar. We're still waiting for a few participants to dial in, so let's give them just a minute or two, and then we can kick off right away. Thanks for joining. Hi, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the people dialing in from around the world. My name is Ling. I'm the Director of Communications at I4E. So welcome to the Innovation for Electrification Showcase webinar. It's organized by I4E. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Innovation for Electrification series, it's the showcase webinar series that we organize on behalf of our members, and it's also to enable them to get closer to potential collaborators by giving them the opportunity to present their products and services. So with that, I'm really happy to kick off the third edition of our showcase webinar on premium power components. And in this webinar, you'll be hearing from members who are using quality components in the design of their decentralized renewable energy systems. Kindly note that the session will be recorded, and if ever you're looking to get the presentations or the recordings, they will be made available at the end and on the I4E website. So that brings me to the agenda. That's me doing the opening remarks, and you are also joined by my colleague and board member, Camille André Bataille, and you'll be hearing from four companies today. So we'll be met with Geraldine Sande from Schneider Electric, Stéphane Trittler from Asantis, Clément Joulin from Victroy Energy, Jones Untaukira from Zua Energy. And there will be a chance as well for the audience to ask questions if you have any. So if you do have any questions that you want directed to any specific speaker, we recommend that you do that in the chat. You can say who it's for, and Camille will try and get to them. She'll try her best to get to them. Next slide, please. So for those of you who don't know us, we are I4E, so the Alliance for Rural Electrification. We are a global decentralized renewable energy association. We're represented by over 185 members who are currently based in over 55 countries and spanning 3 continents. So if you want to get to know more about them, you can also visit our matchmaking platform, which you can find on our website. Next slide, please. So this is sort of an overview of where our members work and their expertise. So we have a big bulk of our membership working on the African continent, but we also have members working in Asia and Latin America. What our members all have in common is that they all work on clean renewable energy. So they could be working on bioenergy, small hydro, small wind, power components, which is the topic here, energy storage, PV. It doesn't really matter. We are technology agnostic at I4E. And so, yeah, we're quite proud to group all these companies together. Next slide. So, yeah, this is my last slide, and then I will stop. So, this is a quick overview of our membership services. So broadly, we offer 3. The first one being market intelligence and business development. We also offer help with policy and advocacy support. And last but not least, we also help with communications and marketing. So if any of these services resonate with you, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to guide you through some of our services and the advantages of joining. And with that, I wish everyone an insightful webinar, and I hand over the floor to my colleague Gemi, who will facilitate. Thank you.
Thank you, Ling. Good afternoon, everyone. As Ling mentioned, my name is Camille, and I'm the general manager of a company called Anka, and I'm also a board member at the Alliance, and I will be your facilitator today. It is my pleasure to welcome our 4 speakers of the day. We'll start with Mrs. Geraldine Sandé from Schneider Electric, followed by Mr. Stefan Trittler from Ascentis Systems, Mr. Clément Joulin from Victroy Energy, and last but not least, Mr. Jones Taukira from Zoa Energy. So without further ado, I will turn the stage over to Mrs. Geraldine Sandé to begin her 10-minute presentation, and I'm just asking you to please try to respect the time allotted. Geraldine, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Camille. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Geraldine Sandé, part of the Access to Energy business in Schneider Electric, and I cover the English-speaking African countries. Thank you. Next slide. You go to the next one. So at Schneider Electric, we believe that access to energy and digital is a basic human need. And definitely this is something that we hold very close to being a pillar in what we push. Next slide, Camille. In terms of what we look at as a purpose as an organization. So our purpose is to empower all to make the most of our energy and resources, bridging progress and sustainability for all. At Schneider, we call this Life is On. As a company, we've been thinking, how do we provide modern energy to people deprived of it? And just looking at it and again, giving it perspective, according to the International Energy Agency, we have about 759 million people that still lack access to electricity. And this was put in by 2019. Again, we have another 1 billion people who have some access, but it is intermittent, unreliable, and also unsafe. With this big information, Schneider Electric in 2009 launched the Access to Energy program. And the Access to Energy program really had a very clear aim. And the aim is to seek to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy impacting all people around the planet. Next slide, please. So with the commencement of the Access to Energy program, we have a wide range of products in which we are using to assist with this problem that we have on a global scale. So the first product that we have is the individual electrification, where we have the Mobia range of products. And these are mainly products that are handheld and can be put on the surface, like the Mobia Original, we have the Mobia Lite and the Mobia Front. We also have a product portfolio that focuses on domestic electrification, and this we call the Humaya product range. Under this, we have the Humaya systems, which have multiple points of light. We also have the PEGO option under this, and we have inverters, which are hybrid inverters. And recently, this year, during the ARE event, we launched our newest addition, the Humaya Pro, which I will touch more in details in the next slide. Under, again, a different portfolio, we have the collective electrification. In this particular range, we have the Vilaya family of products. And with the Vilaya family, we mainly are targeting more of community kind of solutions. And we have both hybrid and standalone systems, mainly fashioned according to the need and the requirement that we have in the market. Together with that, we have our EcoStructure system by Schneider Electric for the energy access. This enables someone to be able to have remote monitoring and also maintenance of the different fluctuations of energy, even as you consume it. Finally, under our portfolio, we have the training arm. As you can imagine, with all this wonderful range of products, it is very important to make sure that as we sell the products and as we impact them into the communities, we also are doing a point of sensitization and knowledge passing. And this is really key, particularly in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it, we want to make sure that the local communities have the skill set to be able to service, install, and also, if needed, do some bit of upscaling. With this, we have our Schneider electric didactic benches. These benches are of 5 different ranges. So we do have didactic benches that offer basic electrical wiring course. We have industrial wiring. We have home automation didactic benches, industrial automation, and the solar didactic bench. Next slide, please. So as I had mentioned before in the previous slide, we have recently introduced our new entrant, which is the Humaya Pro. The Humaya Pro really came about with the need and the request of the market for us to be able to bring bigger size hybrid inverters to be able to assist the industry to meet different needs. So Humaya's solar hybrid solution is reliable, affordable, offers green electricity, suitable for versatile applications. Someone could ask, what kind of applications are we able to use this particular hybrid inverters? We are looking at using the inverters to be used in applications as healthcare. We're looking at educational institutions. We are looking at homes and even micro enterprises. Some of the key features that we have under the Humaya Pro is the MPPT, under the inbuilt MPPT. So the MPPT controller maximizes solar utilization and minimizes energy expenditure. Another key feature is that the Humaya Pro is designed for flexibility. In this case, we mean that you're able to actually have it wall mounted or table mounted, depending with the space and the design that you have on the site. Over and above that, the Humaya Pro comes in 3 different sizes. As you can see on the slide, we have it in 3 kilowatt, we have it in 4 kilowatt and 6 kilowatt. If and when needed, you actually have the ability to put the 4 and the 6 together in parallel to scale it all the way up to 24 kilowatts. And this really helps you, and the 24 kilowatts is actually in single phase. And this allows you to be able to give a more bigger amount of power to be used. Another quality of the Humaya Pro is the fact that it is very compatible. So as I've said, it's a hybrid inverter. It is compatible to the grid. You are able to use lead acid and lithium ferrophosphate battery technologies with these particular inverters. You have a choice of adding external MPPTs. As you can see on the slide, you can add a 1 kilowatt or a 3 kilowatt MPPT as and when needed on your design. We have smart auto sensing grid compatibility, meaning the Humaya Pro detects and adapts to your grid. If you look at the outside body of the Humaya Pro, we have used robust transformer-based technology. We also are looking at additional protection. So the Humaya Pro offers overload protection, short circuit protection, overheating protection, which are very important when you're you're having it in play and you have it installed in your site. We also have an intuitive LCD screen, which helps to monitor, configure, and troubleshoot your usage. In terms of monitoring, we have a Wi-Fi dongle, as you can see it at the bottom of the slide. The Wi-Fi dongle, together with a mobile phone, helps you to easily be able to monitor the usage of your Humaya Pro and the power that it is generating. Over and above that, as I'd mentioned before, we have the EcoStruxure Energy Access Platform, and this helps demand management and control for the microgrid application. And this is when you're looking at it, when you're producing slightly more power. As I'd said, you're able to use the 4 and the 6 to do scalability up to 24 kilowatts. Overall, this particular solution has a payback which is less than 3 years. So definitely this is a product that is going to make a lot of difference in the access to energy space and the productive space. Thank you so much, Camille.
Thank you very much, Ardine. That was a very insightful presentation about Schneider Electric's energy access products and solutions. You showcased a lot of very interesting products, which I assume the audience can get more details about by contacting you later on after the webinar, of course. I am now welcoming Mr. Stefan Trittler from Asantis Systems GmbH to present their solution and their B2B online shop coming on. Stefan, you have 10 minutes. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Camille, and thanks for having me here and giving me the opportunity to present our new launched online shop. I'm waiting for the presentation to start. Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Stefan Trittler. I'm responsible for R&D and innovation projects at Asantis Systems. And today I actually want to present you our new B2B online shop, which is a one-stop shop platform for premium power components. Next slide, please. So just a bit of a background to Asantis. We are a German-based solar system integrator and EPC provider, founded in 2009, so about 13 years of experience so far. And we're specialized on designing and delivering solar systems worldwide with a very strong focus to off-grid systems, and as you can see, also African. We have delivered more than 7,600 systems so far, and into 55 countries. So we're active everywhere, or we have a big background on what we have been doing in installations and also in countries. For last year, we had a turnover of about 11 billion. For us at Asantis, we work to provide a clean and secure and affordable energy for everybody. So, and also especially for those in developing countries. And to scope with the matured solar market, we have now launched an online shop to increase the accessibility to premium solar components for experienced solar companies. So the biggest update probably so far in 2022 is now our so-called Asantis Components B2B online shop. Next slide, please. Here you can have a first glimpse into that shop, which is available in English and French so far. Probably more languages will come later on. So we offer quality solar components from different suppliers, and the customers benefit from our product selection, but also from our good pricing, which we can get through the bulk orders also, which we reach through the orders in our EPC business. And then, of course, through the benefits are also our experience in logistics and handling complex situations, which probably a lot of you know happen, especially if you look into off-grid applications in developing countries. Next slide, please. So the components online shop is focusing very much on solar professional companies which have an engineering service or the ability to do engineering as in-house and do not rely on our technical expertise. So we're taking it out of our normal system integrator portfolio and therefore just offering components to special pricing. So we have a very simple and transparent pricing system, which is also added with a loyalty program, which you can see in the table below. The bronze status is kind of the basic status where there is no annual purchase volume, and you already profit from good pricing. The silver status is kind of the starting status when you register. Here you actually, though there is a minimum annual purchase volume of 100,000 euros, you get a better discount, and well, shipping documents are for free. No, document shipping is for free. That's the way it's to say. And the third status is the gold status, where there is 500,000 euro minimum annual purchase volume. The best discounts can be offered. There is no charge for low volume orders. The shipping the documents are again shipped for free, and certificates of origin also for free. Additionally to that, we also have a detailed quote and order management system, which helps you to kind of track all your orders and keep track of the statuses of those orders. Yeah, that is something which we have implemented in that shop as well. Next slide, please. So currently we're offering these product categories. So we have PV inverter, battery inverters, batteries, solar modules, charge controller, monitoring products, and other accessories. So the main components of a PV system or a PV off-grid system can actually be ordered already. And the brands which we're offering is SMA, J Solar, EcoDelta, and Victroy Energy. On the right side, you can see an example for the Sunny Island here in this case. At the top, you can kind of see availability of the product and the prices, which are only visible if you're registered. Of course, also only requesting a quote and ordering is only possible if you're registered. So that is the first step which you need to take to actually get access to pricing and to quoting. Below that part, we actually have an area where we provide technical information and where you can download data sheets and manuals. So that is for additional information purposes if they're not already existing. And at the bottom, there are some recommended accessories to that product to complete your order. Next slide, please. So in the near future, we want to develop this shop further to a one-stop platform, where then the solar companies can actually buy everything from A to Z to actually from A to Z, which is needed for their solar projects. And then that would be kind of a single point of source. We want to add new categories like the solar module racks. We will add more balance of system equipment, installation tools, mini grid distribution equipment, lighting products, diesel generators, appliances for productive use of energy, and many more. And additional services are also being in the development. So those should actually then help us serve the customer needs even better. And that should then round up this one-stop shop platform going to be developed soon. Next slide, please. So the Acentis Components online shop is actually easy to handle, and it allows to order a wide range of premium solar components from quality manufacturers in a wholesale environment at best possible prices. The simple and transparent pricing system, it includes a simple and transparent pricing system with a loyalty program, and the quote and order management system allows a transparent order process. The last point, which I think is one of the most important, is that we allow a delivery of all products from different categories or from different suppliers in one consolidated shipment. So if you want to be part of this unique online shopping experience and procure premium products centrally at best possible prices and benefit from our quick turnaround of your projects and including cost-effective logistics, then please have a look and register at Acentis Components B2B online shop. Last slide. Thank you very much for having us and for giving us the opportunity to present the online shop, and the QR code here will directly lead you there if you want to have a look directly. Thanks, Camille. Thanks.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you very much for this very interesting presentation and for developing innovative solution for the B2B market. I'm pretty sure that the initiative of such a platform will be of interest to the participants in the audience and will be useful to many actors in the sector. But let's see further on if we can talk about it into more details during the Q&A session. And by the way, there is a quick reminder in the chat box for the audience. After the presentation, we will have a question and answer session. So you can ask your questions in the chat box by clicking on the chat icon. And just do please remember to indicate to whom the question is addressed in order to facilitate the discussion that will follow. So now this is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Clément Joulin from Victroy Energy to talk about their premium power components. Clément, the floor is yours. Like the others, you have 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Good afternoon, everybody. And a pleasure to being here today to speak and to present Victroy Energy. So we can start the presentation. So, yeah, next, please. So to present Victroy Energy, so we are a company based in the Netherlands, founded in 1975, and we are a manufacturer of power electronics for battery-based energy system. So the product range we have covers battery inverter chargers, solar chargers, batteries, and many more products. And we work mainly on different markets, so the solar market, the marine market, the off-grid market, the self-consumption, and also the telecom market. So we cover quite a large range of application. Next, please. So as I said, the company is from the Netherlands. So all the headquarters and the R&D department, we have three R&D departments, are based in the Netherlands, and the production is mainly done in India. And we have a large distribution network, almost worldwide. So yeah, you can find our products almost everywhere in the world. Here in the picture, you can see on the right, like a tool we have for the development of our product is for electromagnetic compatibility, and this is something we have in-house. So it allows us to develop product in a fast way, and to make sure everything is compatible, to have the quality and to have a good performance from the product. Next one, please. So yeah, Victron is it's about quality, it's about know-how. So this is more than 45 years of experience, and you can see in the picture, this is the father that founded the company, Mr. Reinoud Vader, and he's still involved today in the development of the new product. He's still working in the open space, still a busy man. And the son took over for the direction of the company. But still, it's a family-owned company. We have all the knowledge inside the company. All the engineers are able to develop the product, and yeah, this is translated by a proven technology, very robust electronics, and thousands of references worldwide. For example, you have also a picture of an inverter that worked for 30 years in a boat. So yeah, we are known for that, for the quality and the reliability of the product. So they come with a 5-year warranty, and you can extend that warranty to 10 years. And of course, the product is designed for rough environment because we are coming from the marine market. So of course, boat is really remote places. You have a harsh environment, you have a lot of humidity, you have salt. So the product needs to be really strong to last for decades in such condition. Next one, please. So we have quite a wide range of products. So here you can see a glance of what we have. Our concept, our policy is to have the widest range possible of product, and with a lot of different sizes and power of product within the range. So you will be able, as an installer, as a developer, as a owner of a system, to find exactly the product that suits your needs. Next one, please. And this wide range of product and the modularity of the solution allows you to make different type of systems. So it can start from the left, from a really simple MPPT charger. So you can charge a battery with the PV panel, and you can power some DC appliances, like for small electrification. And you can go up to and far to the right, to a big system, hybrid and industrial system, 3-phase system that can power an entire village or an hospital or an industry. And in between, you can do a lot of different application with our product. Can be a house, can be a small company, can be a productive use. So this is something nice with the range of products we have. Next one, please. So this is a typical Victroy Energy solar PV system. So I will not bother you too much with the technical things, but just to be clear on what we do, all the system we design is for battery-based application. So it's for off-grid solar or hybrid solar with energy storage. and we are more into DC coupled system. So the way we use to charge the battery is the MPPT solar charger, and the system can be hybrid with both the grid or genset, or only the grid, only a genset. It's quite flexible. We have also some monitoring solution for monitoring and control. It's quite nice. I will show you how it works in the next slide. And in terms of power, we can go up to 180 kVA. So it's quite a big range. Next one, please. So now to focus more into Africa, because maybe I did not told you, but I'm a sales manager and for French-speaking Africa. So we mainly focus in Africa. And what the philosophy of the company is to develop the companies and the partners and the installers, the EPC in each country. So in each country, we try to develop a network of partners, so they are able to buy our product, to import them, to store them, and to help the end user to design the project that is the system that is good for what he wants, and to provide the support, the pre-sale support and the after-sale support. It is really important because most of the places in Africa are really remote, and you need a reliable product, but you need also product that you can fix and product that you can get the warranty. So all our partner network, they are able to provide the warranty, the 5-year warranty, the standard warranty. And we do also training. So we have regular technical trainings. Next month, I will be in Benin. The month after in Burkina Faso. Basically, almost every month we have training. So this is a good opportunity for the professional to know better about our products. But it's more than just our products. It's about solar, how to design a system, how to install it properly. So this also matters a lot in terms of quality. Even if you have a really good quality product, if it's not designed properly, it will not work. And if it's not installed properly, it will not work as well. Next one, please. So we have 1,000 of references in Africa. So here you can see some pictures. Can be hospital, can be some small electrification system. Yeah, we have a lot of them, and since more than 20 years in Africa, we are selling systems, so we are quite present and quite known. Next one, please. Yeah, so this is one picture I received a few weeks ago on WhatsApp, and I wanted to show it because at the end of the day, this is what matters. This is the reliability of the product, and here you can see one of our inverters that is running for 11 years. So it's a bit dusty. There is no maintenance. There is nothing done on the system. Now the battery are almost done. They need to be replaced, but the system is still running, and this is what we need, and this is what we should expect from a good system and a good product. Is to last for years, and we have systems that are running for longer than that. So yeah, this is something I wanted to show you because this is really important for me. Next one, please. So just a few words about our remote monitoring and control solution. So this is really a nice tool. It's free and easy to
Hello, Clément, are you still there? Seems that we lost you. Let's wait a few seconds to see if you can reconnect. Okay, let's wait a few more seconds to see if Clément can reconnect to the webinar. But if he doesn't, then we'll just move on and go to the next presentation.
I'm
Clément,
back.
are you there? Okay, great. Yeah, please. Hello? Okay, let's wait another seconds, maybe 20, 30 seconds to see if Clément can join us again. And if he doesn't, then we'll just move on to the next presentation. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so Clément seems to have an issue reconnecting to the webinar. So we're going to move to the next presentation, and I'm going to welcome, sorry, turning my camera on so that you can see me. So I'm going to welcome, last but not least, Jones Nantu Kira from Zuo Energy for the last presentation of the day. Jones, the floor is yours. Like the others, you have 10 minutes for your presentation. Please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Camille, and thanks everyone for joining. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. So my name is John Zintaukida, and I'm the Managing Director for Zuo Energy. So I think unlike my the previous speakers, I think my presentation really focuses more on actual project. So like how we actually use these different components in projects on the cloud. So Zuo Energy is in Malawi. If you can go to the next slide, please. So we are based in Malawi, and we started as a pay-as-you-go solar company, really focusing on solar home systems. But recently, we've also started developing microgrids, which is what I'm going to focus on this presentation to highlight our microgrid project and how we are implementing a utility model concept. Next slide, please. So I think what we realized as next slide, what we realized, I think, as a business while we are doing the solar home systems, was that people really are looking are willing to pay for electricity. And just for background, in Malawi, where we are operating from, we do have serious issues to do with energy. So there's a lot of load shedding due to inadequate generation, but also due to different natural disasters that affect our generation capacity. So right, I think until a few years ago, 100% of our grid power comes from hydro. So whenever there is flooding, it means we are affected as a country. Right now, I think we are going pretty much maybe around 6 to 8 hours every day of load shedding. So you might have power in the morning and then no power in the afternoon. And one of the things that we realized about this energy poverty thing is that public service delivery is the most affected, and more especially our health. So hospitals, rural hospitals really suffer when it comes to providing, healthcare to the citizens, because they can't afford to keep vaccines, they can't afford to maybe sterilize equipment that is used in maybe in the maternity ward or stuff like that. So, and there's been this an ongoing almost like syndrome, I can say, whereby if you go around in most African rural areas, in hospitals or schools, you'll find that on the roof there's so many different panels, because there's a lot of different projects that donate these solar systems. So you find one partner will come and donate maybe a solar fridge. So they'll have a panel on the roof just powering a fridge. Another partner will come and donate maybe, you know, just another panel just for lights. Another one will come and donate the panel maybe just for, I don't know, maybe just for a computer. So, but then the problem is because these are donations over time, and in most cases, maybe just even after 1 year or maybe within 2 years, the system fails. It's no longer working. The people have no technical expertise and skills to manage these systems. So as a result, you find that in one hospital, there is probably like 5 different solar systems and none of them is working. So our concept of Zua microgrid is really trying to build on that, and we're saying people don't really care where the energy is coming from and they're willing to pay for it. They don't care whether they have panels on their roof or they have I don't know, anything that you can think of. What they want is to have reliable power and they're going to pay for it. So with our Zua microgrids, what we do is we go to a facility. In this case, I have a case study for Cafe Health Center, where we go to a facility, we do an energy needs assessment, and then we design a system that is able to power the facility. Then we basically install a microgrid, whereby we will install a system. Mostly the panels will be on the roof or could be also ground mount, and then we distribute the power to all the buildings in that facility. So, for example, what we're seeing here in the picture, this is a typical example of a health center where we are powering the whole health center, which has got a catchment area of about 20,000 people benefiting from this facility. So we are powering the whole hospital in terms of lighting and powering and charging equipment, but we are also doing water pumping and distributing the water to the homes. In each building and each staff house, we put smart meters, so we are also able to now manage billing and regulation. Next slide, please. So on the so on the storage, we of course using lithium batteries, and likely we actually in this particular project we used components from Victroy. So Clemo was just speaking before me. We used the inverters and charge controllers from Victroy, but I think there were different components from other suppliers. And for example, for the smart metering, we are working with another partner to manage the billing. So we generate the power, then put these cabinets where we have got the inverter and the batteries. Next slide, please. Next slide. So this picture just here to show you how we are distributing the power. So you see there, that's a ground cable that we are running from probably the main hospital building, running it to the staff house that you can see further there, and you can see people there that are working. And in the bottom left of the picture, that's the like a smart meter that you see inside that house. So this house is able to basically use power based on how much they're using, and then we have an agreement with each consumer in terms of going to pay for the energy that they're using. So in that way, they don't really have to worry about the system failing or the system not working. So we take the responsibility to manage the system to ensure that the people have power almost all the time, and we are actually maintaining and sustaining the systems. Next slide. Yeah, so in terms of our target clients and off takers, so there's a different kind of in terms of scaling up. At the moment, we are only focusing on hospitals, or I should say rural health centers. But in terms of our plan, we can extend this to to schools. So we are looking at rural primary schools or rural secondary schools. We can also extend that to even households power pooling. So whereby you can have a microgrid that can maybe distribute power to maybe 10 or 20 households that are close to each other. Mostly in villages in Malawi, you find that a village would probably be maybe 30 houses, mostly within a close radius to each other, within the radius of 100 meters. So we could even be able to have similar systems, microgrid installed, and then distribute to those households, and they'll be paying for it. But also We can also do the same for SMEs. So, for example, at one of the facilities that we have, the health center, after realizing that people are not using the power a lot because it's a small hospital as well, we managed to extend the power now to the nearest church and the nearest shops. So we are also able to sell the power to the church and the nearest shops. The entrepreneurs who are now paying and using the power that the hospital is failing to actually use all of it. So that's another area that we see in terms of growth and expansion. Next slide. Yeah, so I think that's the end of my presentation. This is just a picture of one of the health centers that we've worked at. You can see there this is the day that we're doing the commissioning, and the kids we're very happy. But I think for us the most interesting thing is that we are able to give people power and they are able to pay for it, and they don't have to worry about the system failing and them not being able to manage or sustain it, because we take that responsibility. Of course, we have to put in capital to invest upfront, but that's what we're trying to do, is to prove that the concept can work. And so far, it's working. And for the hospital, maybe the question might be, what are these? Are these public hospitals or private? So in our currently, we have a mix of both public hospitals as well as private. And I must say that both are working very well. So from the public, they're paying, which is the government is paying us every month, but also the private, they're also paying. So far, we haven't had any issues. We are also using the remote monitoring and everything. So we also reduce our time in terms of how we go to these sites to do maintenance. We are able to do the remote monitoring, just like what Clément was talking about with their Victroy systems. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jones, for your presentation and your work on smart solar microgrids. It seems that you have nailed some of the main problems of access to energy and developed very interesting solutions for various uses, especially for health centers in remote areas. And after COVID-19, it is quite critical that more solutions emerge to support the healthcare systems, especially in those areas. So thank you for your presentation. I'm just tempting one last time to bring Clément Joulin from Victroy Energy back to the floor to finish his presentation. Clément, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great.
I had some trouble with my internet connection.
It's okay. I guess that those who provide energy solutions are the ones always facing energy problems. So
yeah.
The floor is back to you. Please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Yeah, so it was almost finished anyway. So yeah, this remote and monitoring control solution is really advanced on the market. We are really focusing on developing new tools, new features about this monitoring solution. And so it brings extra value to the product. So for example, you can monitor, but you can also diagnose the system remotely. You can do firmware updates if there is a new firmware that will improve the behavior of the system or the reliability. You can take control of the system. For example, if there is a genset, you can start and stop it. Or you can also receive email alarms. You can even set your customized alarm on the system. So you can do a lot of things, and it's really nice for remote places. So the app is for free. You can use it on the phone. You can use it on a computer. Next one, please. And one last word is about interoperability of our solutions. Also again, it's a philosophy within Victroy is to be open and more like an open source than a closed-minded company. So regarding the storage, for example, we are compatible with a lot of lithium battery brands. Regarding PV inverter, if you want to use PV inverter in association with our battery inverter, you can. So there is 4 main brands that you can connect with our system, and the monitoring will work as well. So you will be able to see the complete system as a single one. You can also add some meteorological devices. You can do a lot of things. It's quite open source, and if you want to collect the data and to aggregate somewhere else in your own system or in to take action somewhere, you can do it as well. So it's quite open source and convenient to use. And I think that's it. I'm done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Clément. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was all of our presentation of today. Now it's going to be the time to move on to the Q&A session. Please allow me to ask all of our speakers to turn on their camera for this Q&A session so that we feel like we are almost in the same room having a lovely chat all together. Please, all speakers, if you can turn your cameras on. And we're going to proceed with the questions. I see in the chat box that there are only a few questions. I can give more time to the audience to prepare the questions and to put them in the chat box, reminding them to indicate the name of the speaker they're directing the question to. And in the meantime, I'd like to ask sort of a general question to all of the speakers. I'd like to ask what you do expect to see in terms of innovation related to premium power components technologies from your companies in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. Can we start maybe with Geraldine?
Sorry, Camille, could you respond to the question?
So I cannot respond to the question, but I can ask it again.
Oh, sorry, can you ask it again? I meant, can you ask it again?
Okay. It's okay, don't worry. I was just asking what are your expectations in terms of innovation related to premium power components technologies from your company in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years? What do you expect in the future in terms of innovation?
Okay, so thank you for this question. So at Schneider Electric, really our approach is very different because we invest a lot of our revenue on R&D. And definitely because access to energy is more of a social business, for us, it is more of listening to what the market needs, and then we create it. So, for example, if you look at what we just launched recently, there was a very big demand in regards to productive use. And then you saw our R&D team actually did worked very fast to make sure that we launched in a very timely fashion a product that was able to help with the need, which was productive use. So definitely, just to answer onto this, in the near future, I see the same trend continuing, whereby we react as per the need of the market, as per the need of the environment in the different areas that we are located globally.
Yeah, thank you. So innovation in relation to the needs, the factual needs. Okay, great. Clément, since we still have you connected on the webinar, can you just turn on your camera and bring some opinion on this question?
Yeah, I'm still here. My internet is still available. Okay. So yeah, in Victron, what we see in the coming years is, of course, more and more connectivity of the product. This is something we are pushing forward to be able to do always more remotely. And now we are also developing some new range of products. So it's more about inverters. So now we are going into the transformer-less based inverter. So it allows with new component and new electronic component, we are able to develop a reliable product. It was not the case in the past, but now it's possible with the new technologies. So this type of inverter allows to reduce the cost. And now we see the market is growing, is going to bigger system. The demand is on bigger system. Now we have the microgrid market is taking off quite a lot. So the demand is for more and more power. So yeah, we will be able to do a megawatt power, megawatt class system, that kind of thing. So there is some quite exciting things coming.
Okay, thank you. So basically, you're improving all of your range of products while trying to lower as much as possible the cost for the buyers.
Yeah, this is the idea, and this is we are trying to innovate and always bring new products. So it's quite a tough work. It's quite a challenge always to develop new things, but it's also interesting, and it's yeah, we'll see nice things coming in the coming years.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Stefan, what is your opinion? Also bring maybe a new angle from the digitalization of services.
Yeah, sure. I think the points which have been mentioned by Geraldine and Clement so far are points which are valid for us as well, although we're not a manufacturer but a system integrator. So probably from our side, it's more about, well, system integration and therefore then digitalizing those parts, digitalizing processes, digitalizing data or access to data, and then control functionalities, also in regards to then load management. If we look at pure productive use of energy appliances, and then just adding on different services which we're supplying anyway already. So I think one big topic is, for example, battery recycling, which is pretty common in Europe and probably the US, but in the regions where we are working is a big problem. That is something which we're working on. It's going into like making systems easier to develop, but also then easier to install and easier to maintain, things like that. And I suppose the timeline of 5 to 10 years is pretty long. I suppose we're more thinking of 2 to 3 years here. So yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, it is a long-time perspective, but okay, so very interesting aspects on the digitalization and also the way of simplifying installation and systems for anyone to use them on the ground. Jones, from your perspective as a developer of solution and an implementer, a doer on the field, what is your opinion when it comes to innovations? What do you expect from those technology providers, and what do you foresee on your in your own company?
Yeah, I think on our side, I think what I really want to see, or what I expect to see in terms of innovation, is really more increased interoperability, or the seamlessness. These products from different suppliers or manufacturers should be able to work seamlessly with other products. I think right now there's there's still a lot of other products, or some products that probably when you're procuring, you need to be very careful what you're procuring, and I think that's a bit of concern, because sometimes it delays projects due to maybe prolonged procurement process, because you have to confirm everything that it's really compatible with what you're trying to do. You have to confirm that these batteries will really work with this kind of inverter. Sometimes project owners, they want a specific brand of products that, or maybe inverter or something like that. So I think moving on, I would want to see more interoperability, whereby these kind of products should be working without any problems. Right now, it's still limited. Secondly, when people have access to energy, it's they're excited. Now they want to use that energy, but now they're not going to use it just for charging phones. They need to use it for something more productive. So what I think Stefan mentioned about productive use, but I think I would even go further and say even more energy efficient appliances. I think that's what we actually again need in the industry, because when we are giving people this energy, when you are developing these microgrids, and if people are not using them, then it's a problem for us, because now it means our revenue is affected, because remember, we are charging people based on how much energy they're consuming. So if they're consuming very little, it means also for us there's no business case. So we want to come to the point where if people have microgrids, then they can buy an energy efficient TV. They can now buy an energy efficient fridge that is made to specifically be high performing on microgrids or on solar. So at the moment, you still find that we have got microgrids, but then people are still having to go and buy normal AC appliances, like a normal fridge or normal TV, which in the end, I think it doesn't really work, because either it becomes very expensive for the user, so they will now start hating solar. They'll say, no, it's expensive, or these systems are also just probably not available in these rural areas. So for me, I think those two things, more interoperability, more seamlessness in how these different technologies work, but also more energy efficient, solar friendly appliances to go with the market, so that people can we can drive demand.
Great. Message received loud and clear. Roger that. Thank you very much, Jones. If you allow me to continue with you, I'd like to ask you a question from the audience. So, Frau Johannes, sorry for my pronunciation, is asking, are the earth centers employing specific income-generating activities using the newly acquired power? Do you have best practices in this regard?
Say it again, sorry.
So Frau Johannes is asking, are the earth centers employing specific income-generating activities using the newly acquired power? And do you have best practices in this regard?
Yeah, interesting. So I think the power that we're installing is really meant to be used at, in the hospital. So for lighting or basically powering whatever they have. It's not going to power everything at the moment, but it will power pretty much 90% of the things that they require. So if they have a delivery room, for example, they would have an autoclave, so they'll be able to sterilize medical equipment that they use for, in the delivery room. So that kind of stuff. So I think there is not a specific income generating activity that they are using, but for us, I think I know why she's asking that question, because I think the thinking is, how are they able to pay? So before we go to these hospitals, right? If a hospital is in rural area, they have no electricity, they still have to incur costs. Like, for example, in some of the facilities that we're working in, they were using either diesel or petrol powered generators, or they were using gas for sterilization, or sometimes they're even using charcoal. So this is a cost that they have every month. What's happening now, we just say, instead of them buying LPG for sterilization only, or buying battery torches, or buying kerosene, that money is what they now are paying us as a hospital. But for the staff houses, every staff, with a nurse or the hospital administrator, they're paying for themselves. So there's no specific income generating activity. In terms of best practices, I think we do provide a training. We do leave a lot of guidelines that they have to use, but also we train, at least for the public facilities, we do train the team of technicians from the government side in terms of like first response when there's a problem, but otherwise when there's a major problem, we are still the ones to respond. I hope that helps. Yeah.
Well, I think that it brings some pieces of answers, obviously, and if the person who asked the question needs more information, I'll leave him or her complete the question in the chat box. Reminder to the audience, if you have any questions to ask to our speakers today, feel free to ask them in the chat box if you want these questions to be addressed today. Quick question from the audience to Clément. How many megawatts are installed with your systems in Africa yearly, roughly? And what are your main roadblocks to grow faster?
Can you just repeat the end of the question?
What are your main roadblocks to grow faster? Sorry for my accent.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's okay. So in fact, I don't know the total power we install each year in Africa, but what I know is like we are growing every year about like between 30 to 50%, because the market is growing and our products are appreciated in the market. But it's several megawatts, but yeah, it's a sum of several small systems. And yeah, in terms of what we do to increase the pace is, as I said, is like to focus on Africa, like to have real relationship with our customer, with our end user. So try to be available when people have questions, when people need some support, to give also trainings, regular trainings, to keep close to the market, to keep close to the demands, to know the problem that the people in the field, what they face, and also to bring new product, to bring new features, because we know where the market we will go, but yeah, we have to go there, and it needs a lot of effort in terms of R&D. Nowadays, also, it's a bit difficult about the for all the sourcing, the manufacturing, the logistics, the shippings. You all know that. So we try to do our best, and so far is doing quite well.
Okay, great, good to know. Congratulations for your growth. One question addressed to Geraldine. What are some of the challenges facing the industry at this point in time, and how are the solutions you presented solving these problems?
Thank you, Camille, for the question. I think one of the biggest challenges is the fact that the majority of the areas that have lack of energy access are really different. So if you look at different in terms of the political climate in that area, because the legislation normally also affects that, and it would actually have also an impact in terms of how easy we are able to meet the market. We have the bit about the geographical size. Again, you might find that the approach that you might use for one country or one area in the world might not necessarily work for another country. And definitely then it brings on the question whereby we as a manufacturer really need to put our ears on the ground. And for Schneider Electric particularly, we have narrowed down areas where we believe there is a need. And with that, Schneider has invested heavily to have teams on ground. And this would really drive, like I'd said in my previous answer, it would really drive the innovation in terms of each and every product that we release into the market. So then it would mean that we are bringing a product that is answering a particular need. In regards to the go-to-market strategy, again, the strategy that you'd use in a humanitarian space would definitely be different from the strategy that you'd use for a more communal kind of lighting. We also see a lot of push from the developing partners and the local government in terms of the funders. And this also plays really a very important role because for the areas, again, that have lack of access to energy, one of the biggest challenge that we see is lack of funding. And with no funding, because these are, we are talking of people who are at the bottom of the pyramid or people who do not really have buying power or spending power. So then definitely we could have a product, but the limitation would be the ability for the community or that particular individual to buy our solution. So definitely these are some of the challenges that we see. But again, as we say, we are a global company, but then we are really organized in a local way. So then we are a step ahead in mitigating most of the challenges that I have mentioned. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Geraldine. That's very interesting. Your eyes on the ground approach seems to be so very relevant to better assess what are the needs and how to design fitted solutions. And I see that you're raising also another issue, a big challenge that I assume everybody's relate to is the funding. Jones, there's a question from the audience that is also linked to that. Is your company sponsored to build those microgrid systems?
So I'd say yes and no, or I'd say both. So for some for some facilities, yes, there was an upfront funding that we got to pilot the concept. But what's happening is what we have seen is that people now, other private institutions are interested. So what's happening now is we are able to design I would say a financing mechanism with a specific partner around the project. So maybe it could be that the partner, in this case mostly private, they have some money, but then they don't have all the money, but they would be able to pay to finance maybe 40% upfront for the project. We'll still be able to have find the other funding either through a bank that we can go together with this client, and then we are able to still deliver. And in this case, the ownership of the product might be, in the name of the financier until a point whereby the product has been fully financed, and then the ownership now transfers to the owner. But in this case, the client benefits from still enjoying these monthly payments which for us is not necessarily as a payment to us, but it's more of paying to the bank. So the bank is interested in that monthly payment, so to say, but those payments are not coming to us. In this case, we have already done the business, but the billing now is for the support of the bank to be able to have surety that this client is going to be able to make payments every month. Because if they haven't paid, they'll know that the billing is attached to how much power they're going to be able to access in a given month. So it's like giving them a quota. So we have one client that we've done that kind of private arrangement. So I think there's interest from private companies to be able to design this kind of financing instrument. But again, I think it's not easy to do, but it's something that I think private partners will be able to take on board.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, this is an initiative. So you're basically linking the financial products and the willingness from certain funding institutions to partner with you to provide facilities for the clients to acquire those systems. Yeah, and,
Exactly.
and for those who, in relation to one of the questions from the audience, for those who cannot pay or one of the financial institutions, what kind of solutions do you have, or what is your approach?
Sorry, I lost you for a few seconds. So the question is, for those who can't pay, what do we do with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think so far we haven't really had that problem. So what happens is when we identify facilities, so all these facilities, we identify them ourselves. So mostly they don't, maybe just some would come to us, but mostly we are active to identify them. And then before we even do anything, we sign off-taker agreements. So we'll have an off-taker agreement, like with the facilities that are public owned, for example. It means we have an off-taker agreement with the Ministry of Health. So we'll go to the Ministry of Health and say, okay, this is what we can do. You have got these facilities in these areas, or wanted to start with this place, and then we'll sign an off-take agreement with the Ministry of Health. So they are committing that they'll be making payments, and we have an agreement in place. So if they don't pay, I mean, we're not just going to sue them for the first month. But I think my point is that there is an agreement in place that the off-taker is going to be able to make a particular amount payment in exchange for supply of electricity. So we haven't had an issue where are failing to make payments. And I must say, even for which is quite interesting, is that for the staff houses, we have got in some facilities whereby staff have actually, because they are so excited, staff have actually paid. They're even paying maybe 4 months in advance. We have had issues whereby maybe a particular facility would miss a payment, but in the next month they would be able to make the payment for the previous month plus for that month. Mostly, of course, from the government side, but otherwise for the private ones, it's we haven't had any issues. They're paying on time, the staff are paying, and there isn't really much of a problem. But that's something that we can always anticipate that it can happen in the future. But I think our confidence is that we do have these off-take or power purchase agreements with them.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jones, for this detailed answer. Let me go back to Stefan. Question for you. During your presentation, you shared how one of your near future objectives is to become a one-stop shop platform where solar companies can buy everything needed from A to Z to build their own solar projects. Can you please let us know when do you plan to launch this solution? And if you can give more information regarding how you are preparing consumers for it.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So, I mean, it's probably going to be a development which will take a few months, and it will probably continue as there are new requests coming in and new ideas coming in. So for the next months, we have a couple of, new categories, new products coming in, and then also new services which we're developing. And I think it depends also on what is requested from the market, what customers are asking for, or what suppliers are developing in their regards in the product ranges. So we are pretty open to also hear from suppliers, but also from developers, operators, installers, what their needs are, and then add those parts. In the end, we, as I stated already, we want to be like a one-stop shop platform where everything which is required can be bought for a system, and we can just consolidate all these parts in one container and one shipment. And of course there are services around, if it is monitoring, if it is financing, if it is on-M support, installation support, trainings, all kinds of stuff which are requested to actually get forward. Those are parts which will probably come bit by bit. We don't have a clear timeline that we say, okay, mid next year everything is complete, because I suppose complete is a big word. But yeah, there is a plan for the next couple of months to like get that a step further, bit by bit.
Great. So we look forward to seeing this platform launched officially. Please keep us updated about this launch, and I'm sure
we're always updating over LinkedIn, but also we'll set up a newsletter for those who are interested, and the registered customers will always be informed about what's happening new. So probably LinkedIn is the channel which we're promoting it the most.
Great. So this is a message for the audience. Stay tuned on LinkedIn. There might be some coming news from Essentis in the coming months. Great. So I may be asking a couple of more questions. Then we'll have to close the webinar. I see there is a question for Geraldine. The solar-related training provided by Schneider Electric, is it available for Myanmar? And if so, can it be done online?
So the answer is yes. The high-level answer is yes, because all our trainings are available everywhere globally. And to be specific about Myanmar, definitely I believe I could be able to contact with the teams in Myanmar. But on the online side, so our courses have two aspects. On the training, we have what we do in-class training, and then we have what we do as online training through our Schneider Academy. And it's really some of the courses are free, depending with the level of certification that the particular trainee might require. So the short answer is yes. The exact details I can be able to share afterwards in regards to how to get in touch to the local Schneider Electric team within Myanmar.
Okay, thank you. So positive answer. Go on for Myanmar. I see there is another question for you, Geraldine. I think it's very quick. Is it possible to become a partner of Schneider Electric for the implementation of these technologies that you showcased and mentioned in Central African Republic?
Again, yes. In fact, we are looking for you. So every single day, this is my job as business development, to make sure that we get in touch with companies in the local countries. As I've said, again, we thrive very well with working very closely with the local companies. As a manufacturer, we do not sell the goods directly into the markets. We get local distributors, local system integrators, and last mile distribution partners in all the countries across the globes. Again, there is a criteria to sign on, but definitely the answer is yes. And we are very eager, looking for you to take our products into Central African Republic. Yeah.
Okay, great. I love your yes attitude. To all of those who are asking the contact details and email addresses of our speakers, you can contact directly I4E, and they will provide you with all the contact details. And again, the PPT presentation and the summary of this webinar will be available in a few days on I4E's website. Just checking in if there's any additional question. I saw that there were some reactions in the chat box regarding pay-as-you-go systems, especially to allow the acquisition of equipment and also appliances for the last mile of end customers. I wonder if maybe Clément has some opinion on the pay-as-you-go system for the acquisition of the solar systems.
Can you just repeat the question?
Hello? Do you hear me, Clément?
Yeah. Okay. Can you just repeat the question, please?
Yeah, there are some reactions on the chat box regarding the ability to acquire solar systems and energy for the most fragile customers and clients. And some of the reactions were mentioning the pay-as-you-go systems, the pay-as-you-go solution.
Yeah, it's we have in Victron, we have a pay-go product in our range. It's we have only one product at the moment, and it's really a good way to improve accessibility, especially to the bottom of the pyramid for the energy system and electrification, and also good quality, because there is a lot of problem about quality product. And something we would like to develop now, it's a bit delayed, but is to have almost our full range available for pay-go. So like a company would be able to use our product and to integrate them in a pay-go kind of box or dongle that should be able to get the payment and unlock the system for an amount of time. So this is something we are looking forward for it, and that could be nice to make a bigger pay-go system.
Okay, thank you, Clément. Maybe Geraldine, do you have any comments on the pay-as-you-go solution?
Yes, definitely. So we do have, currently we have existing pay-go solutions for the residential. And again, like I said, the market sometimes evolves differently. So one of the learnings that we had recently was during COVID, because during COVID, as you know, with the pay-go system, as long as you're expecting people to pay a small amount as they consume the energy, then definitely with the loss of jobs and all that had happened, there was a lot of defaulting rate around the whole continent, or the whole globe, if I might say. So for us, as Schneider Electric, our pay-go solutions are available. They are very malleable, and they can be played around in different ways. But right now, the sweet spot for us is being able to make sure that it is sustainable to our last mile distribution partner. He is assured to collect his money at the end of the day. And really, it is the only reason why they would invest in a solution like ours. In terms of hardware, it is robust, has a lot of top of the notch, of course, specifications.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, we do understand that that hardware and technological solution are not enough to ensure that a client will be able to pay even in a pay-as-you-go approach. That is, again, maybe interesting to have eyes on the ground and to be present to support those last mile customers, to prevent them from not being able to pay for the systems. A question to all of you speakers from Earl. If one were to become a partner with one of your company in buying your products, could one receive a franchise or something to that extent? Clément?
Yeah, so we need to, this is something we need to assess. So we have to, because we select our partner based on some criteria like technical knowledges and the ability to stock the product, to import the product. But this is something, yeah, this is something we can do, so you can get in touch with me. Otherwise, we have also our distributors in almost all the countries in the world, so you can contact them if you want to buy our product, if you want to get some advices for design, product selection, and so on. So yeah, this is the way to go.
Great, thank you. Geraldine, maybe a comment on that as well?
Okay, so when I'm assuming when they say franchise, meaning us allowing a local company to use the brand Schneider Electric and to push our product out. So the short answer is no. So normally how we work is that we partner up with distributors. So meaning the distributor would still maintain their company name. However, we will give them an authorization and we'll have a contract in place to say that we as Schneider Electric as a manufacturer have given them the authority and the right to distribute our product within a specific region. And again, the distribution is not really an open book because we do have a lot of products that we manufacture. So definitely it would be capped on specific ranges. So for example, even if you look at it, access to energy, we would not necessarily give someone a ballpark kind of distribution agreement. Rather, again, just similar to Victroy, would also have a criteria that they would go for, which mainly is on technical, financial capability, geographical coverage, just to name but a few. And looking at all this would see which product are they able to get, because at the end of the day, whatever partnership we get into, we have one goal and one goal only, with impact at the back of our head. So we are not really a revenue generating arm, but rather we have that big figure that I mentioned, which is 759 million people not having access to energy. And with that goal in mind, we make sure whoever we select is able to help us reach that agenda in a very effective and professional way.
Thank you both. I can smell that partnership is in the air. That's great. Maybe very quickly, Stefan, is that something that you actually foresee, partnership and franchising?
Partnerships for us definitely are important. We don't have subsidiaries in Africa or in the countries we're implementing, so we always work with local partners there, installers, operators, developers, and that's where we actually are looking for strong partners, strong relationships, long-lasting relationships, especially who benefit from our services, but then also, of course, where we work closely together, either sourcing from our side or where we are subcontracting for projects. So that is generally a two-way approach, and we're always very happy to get new customers and new installers to our network.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, again, Jones, to close this, do you have any comment on that from your perspective as a developer, a doer on the ground? What is your perspective on partnerships? Very quickly.
Yeah, good. Thanks so much. So I think for us, and for you, I think the issue of franchising and the others probably not very practical. But I would say partnerships. I believe partnerships is the key to actually for us to achieve all these things that we're saying. I think if we want to really be able to achieve SDG 7, power for all, we really need to do partnerships. Otherwise, you have got great companies like Schneider, and they're clearly saying they don't sell, but for them, they're making products so that they can go to the market. They need someone who needs to be selling them. Stefan is talking about the same thing. They have got products, but they need companies like Zoa who are actually on the ground doing the implementation. But if we are developing microgrid, for example, as well, these are costly projects. And now, when we are coming up with project teams or doing our procurement plans, I think I would say that's where these kind of partnerships would really work to even respond to the question of who is financing this, how managing to finance. I think all these things can really be, achieved if there is a good relationship between implementers, and as well as manufacturers. Otherwise, if the manufacturer just wants to make money upfront, it becomes very hard for the implementer to actually implement projects. So I think on my part, I would say partnerships are really, really great, especially when you have partnerships between manufacturer and distributors and implementers who are doing a microgrid. It's also a great way to actually have more people participate in the value chain. Otherwise, it's very costly for you to manufacture, distribute, sell, install. It's actually very impossible. So I would say for us to achieve SDG 7, we really need to have a very productive, symbiotic relationships between manufacturers and distributors and as well as implementers.
Thank you, Jones. That's a perfect way to conclude on this presentation, partnerships, symbiotic relationships to achieve those very ambitious goals. I think that we covered most of the questions that were asked on the chat box by the audience. I want to thank you all speakers for your time and for your availability and for presenting, showcasing your solutions. I'd like to thank also Ling from I4E for presenting this webinar and for the entire I4E team for organizing it. And of course, I'd like to thank the audience for participating and for asking those very interesting questions. I hope this was a very useful webinar to you. And again, as a reminder, all PPT presentations as well as the webinar summary will be available in a few days on the Alliance's website. And you can get in touch with I4E to get the speakers' contact details if needed and for further discussions. If you have any other comments or questions, please do not hesitate to contact the I4E team. Will answer you. You'll see they are very nice people, very effective people, and very dedicated to the sector. Thanks again to all. Have a good day or a good evening. Good luck in your respective projects or activities, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Camille.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alliance
Thank
team.
you.
See you soon.